forward. And welcome, everybody. Wonderful to be here for this practice of questioning our thoughts. So welcome. I'm going to open with this from the Tao Te Ching today. So Lao Tzu, if you don't realize the source, you stumble in confusion and sorrow. When you realize where you come from, you naturally become tolerant, disinterested, amused, kind-hearted as a grandmother, dignified as a king. I think of the work as allowing us to be in touch with that source and no longer stumble in confusion and sorrow. So take a moment and just land. Maybe you've had a day, maybe it's first thing in the morning, like where I am in the Northwest. And see at the beginning of this inquiry, if you can relax with what is, and what Byron Katie says, loving what is. And let's relax with what is. Just beginning by relaxing. Everything's okay. The way it's been, even if the mind says it isn't, of course. But allowing it all to be there, noticing that you are already welcome. Even if you resist, even if you don't like it, what's happened, even if you disagree with it, having trouble with that situation, that person, it is welcomed here. And so are you. And so are they. But from this point where you are, the you that seems to be here, just opening up to allowing it, letting it all be there, relaxing with what is for a moment. Noticing what's holding you, the support of this moment. Actually physically relaxing your body. Isn't it amazing that we can consider that, we can hear it and go, oh yeah, relax your legs, your shoulders, your arms, your torso, your hips, your feet. And just let it all be. Noticing what's holding you, supporting you. Even though all that stuff has happened. Still here, present. And this thing that causes confusion and sorrow, that's what we're here for. Anger, upset, trouble. So go ahead and let that all be there. The problem situations. And let's see where this goes. So if you came and you know something, you know, a moment, I know sometimes there's so many. If you've seen something and you're looking and you want to explore further, so profound to do it with the work. Now see what it is. And if you've got, a thought or a concept or a question or wondering about a situation or where to be in this process, or you're ready with a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet, great. So see if it's you. See what wants to come for inquiry today. And remember, if you're following along and listening, anyone who's just listening, you can find your situation, like let it bubble up. I sometimes think of it as almost like a game. There's somebody doing the work and they say, here's what happened and this is what's going on, and all that's going on there in their life. And they say the details, and the details won't be the same. You'll have another vision or experience or something you've gone through, but it might occur to you, there's somebody in your life you've had the same thoughts about. You've worried about the same situation. I love there are no brand new thoughts or situations. The details, of course, unique in a way, but the response to them, very similar. Little nuances and different coloring and different sense or smell sometimes, the different situations, but you'll find it so that you can use whoever's speaking, you can also use that as your own inquiry. Just see, allow it to bubble through. I love that it works that way. So who wants to do the work? Who's ready? Okay to stay off camera. You can raise your hand or just come off mute, or just see where you are. Like, you might not be ready quite for inquiry. I don't know about that. It's okay. Say, I'm wondering. Sometimes what we do on this is, in these gatherings, these beautiful gatherings, is actually fill out a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. Find it, take a look. Something incredibly powerful about walking through every one of those 6 questions, only identifying judgments. Let's just spend some time in the judgment. And you can always bring that worksheet. It's very, very helpful to spend a little time filling that out, taking a look and bringing it. And yes, Tira, hello.
Hi.
There.
I haven't come on before. I'm new, but I've been following silently for a while.
Oh, good to have you. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I haven't filled out the worksheet, but I have a situation I've been tossing around and actually thought I was going to talk about something different. But as you were talking, I realized I need to hash this one out. Yeah.
Okay, good. I love how that happens. Maybe the one that's underneath comes popping up.
Yep. Yeah. So I am judging my work colleague.
Yes. Aha. Wonderful place for judgments to come up, isn't it? Work.
Yeah. We have basically founded a program together, and my thoughts about her are that she's not working as hard as me.
Oh, so good.
And even worse, she thinks she is. And she's like getting away with thinking that she's the harder working one, but I am.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Your proof. So just notice what your proof is. You're working harder. She thinks she's working just as hard, but she isn't.
Yeah.
See if there's a moment. Even sometimes it's lovely to have that anchor of a moment where that's really good representation. And sometimes it's okay. It's a composite. It's like a buildup of a bunch of situations, but just see if there's one where, yep, if I played that film back, I have it in my head.
Yeah. The film is that we have produced a lot of research about this program that we co-created, and I have been leading the research and basically leading. We have a team of like 10 people that I think that I'm leading. She would say we're both leading, but the work has really been a lot of research lately. And so I've been running the meetings. I've done the research and written it myself. And then the idea was that she was going to write the next paper and she doesn't enjoy research or writing. She's like very open about that. And I don't love it either, but I think more driven to do it. And so I have taken the reins on what was going to be her paper. And my thoughts are that now I've done more work on her paper than she has. And I'm going to be the one who has to actually do the like nitty gritty work if I want to get it published. And her name's going to be first on that paper because we already decided that. And it's not fair. She's going to get, recognized as doing at least 50%, if not more.
Okay. So everybody find that where somebody's doing, they're getting away with it and it isn't fair.
Yeah, she's really getting away with it.
Just not fair. I see bubbling up in my experience. It's like even house chores can be like this.
For sure. Yes.
I'm doing it. They aren't. They even think they're doing it, but
and that's the worst part. That's like what makes it come up is if they think they're doing it.
Yes. Okay. So it's really good. So noticing specifically that, and would you say that fits, she's getting away with it? Like she's doing okay.
Yes.
All right. You think she's doing it and not really.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's getting away with it. She thinks she's doing the work and I'm working harder.
Yeah.
Is it true?
It really feels true.
Yes. Which I love it that, of course, that's running. It's running. Really feels true. I love that this one you get two answers because it's sort of like, well, yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at here. This is a conflict. It's been running for a while. Yes. I love to pause and say, is it true? Okay, yes. Can you absolutely know it isn't fair?
No, I can't know that.
How'd you find your no there?
I think going to the existential place of I can't know what her experience is. So I can't actually say that, she might be working harder in some other domain that's invisible to me. Like, I don't think she is, but I can't know that for sure.
Yes. Well, good to see. Okay. And this, she thinks she's working harder.
Mm-hmm.
And by comparison, she thinks she's working harder. I'm working harder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, helpful to see. I don't absolutely know that that's true.
Right.
Okay. What happens when you think it? This isn't fair. Okay. She's working harder than me. I'm working harder than her.
Yeah.
I think she's working just as hard.
I mean, I just like go to evidence collecting and demonstration phase. I come up with every single instance and I look at all the like days off she takes and all the things she's doing that I'm not doing and how good life is for her. She's, making twice as much money as me and going on all these vacations. And then I go into all the times she's complaining and I can't believe she's complaining about that. She doesn't know how hard it is for me. I don't complain, like all of that.
So good. Okay. How do you actually treat her? Like, what does it look like? Even if it's kind of keeping a bunch of it inside, maybe the thinking. What's the energy like from you to her? This isn't fair. She thinks,
Yeah, in when I'm in this space, I probably am colder with her. I'm trying to think. I like try very hard to keep it professional, and my assumption is it doesn't come off at work. But I wonder if I'm given the opportunity to like show how much I'm working, I'll take it. Um, I just have little compassion for her situation.
mm, yeah. Sounds like it begins to be if anything else is shared, it's like,
Yeah, I'm against it
yeah,
in my mind.
it's a complaint or she's lucky for this great life or, whether
Yeah,
it's positive or negative. I'm kind of like, ugh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, this isn't fair.
yeah, yeah. It's not fair.
Yeah. See how you treat yourself. I am the one. I am the one who's here. How do I treat myself?
How do I treat myself in that space?
Yeah. How do you see yourself? Here I am.
Um, I'm just very victim-y. I'm both like a victim and I'm in this awful, like righteous, justified place.
Yeah. That's so powerful to see. I feel like, like a little, what, victim, like powerless,
Hmm.
have no,
Yeah.
just,
Yeah. I'm small, but I'm like stomping my foot.
yes, yes, yeah, yeah. I just find it so helpful to see. It's like I feel like this little, as a sort of fuming person in a situation like that, when comparing. And I'm the one in the lower position, like somehow it's not fair and I'm down here.
Yeah.
And just like fuming and
Yeah.
I suffer every time I think of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So still a little more on this. This is question 3. Where you see this going in the future, images, this isn't fair.
I mean, I'll probably just constantly be in comparison mode. If this continues,
Hmm.
like she and I think will probably be partners for the rest of my career since we created this thing that I love. And if I don't get control of my thoughts here, then I'll just continue to find ways where it's not fair for me and I'm doing more work. And like ultimately, it could erode the friendship and the partnership we have, I think.
Good to see what's at stake here in a way, or just also what the mind shows you.
Yeah.
Never ending. My entire career, the rest of
Yeah.
my life is when I work, the rest of my working life.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is a powerful question. The images from the past, fairness,
Mm-hmm.
me working hard, them not.
Mm-hmm.
How far back it goes, like when that thought maybe first ever occurred to you. It's possible for life to, serve up lack of fairness, me being the one that has to work hard, no way out.
Yeah, totally. And even just this, like, it's so ugly. I don't like it, but it's been there. And this need to like show everybody and make everybody understand that I'm working so much harder than them.
Yeah.
I'm like the busiest one.
Uh-huh. Yes. Yeah.
Life's harder for me. I've chosen it. Like, it's okay. It's very martyrish, but like, you all need to know I'm working a lot harder than you.
So see how far back, like where is that? All the way back to like family of origin? All
Yeah.
back. Okay. You see that? It's good to see where it was, where it kind of first ever came in.
There's
To,
not a good reason. I can't blame it on like trauma or any badness in my childhood. It just was like, oh yeah, I did that in high school too.
yeah. There's competition to be done here. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
awareness of it. There's better and worse and people doing and working hard and not working hard and getting away with things and not getting away with
Yeah.
and so it's just good
Yeah.
it all comes in. And I'm on the losing end of the stick when I work hard, or I'm going to do it this way.
Yeah.
But
And I
it's
must be recognized at the best as the best, or else it's not fair.
oh, good to see. Want to be the best.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I just love that seeing, the drive. I want to do this. I want to win. I want to be the best. I want to make it. I got to get to it. This can even happen with things we think are favorable. Well, they are like
Yeah, totally.
enlightenment itself.
Yes. Right.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
thing, I'm not even sure exactly what it is, but I'm gonna get there.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So noticing it's stressful. I mean, aware of the stress. Is there anything that comes to mind that would be frightening about not having this perspective? Like if you dropped
Mm.
fairness, this isn't
Mhm.
fair. If you dropped it, is there anything bad that would happen? I don't know about that. I need to keep the thought. Just see.
Yeah, I think somewhere I believe like then I'll suffer because things will get more unfair and like out of my favor. And if I'm not like onto it,
Yeah.
fighting against it,
Yes.
then I'll get the shortest stick.
Yeah. So I find that helpful to see. It's like, with the thought, I still see like this is going to last a whole career and that it's not going to be fair, but at least I'm
At least
something.
I'm preventing it from being even worse than it is.
Yes. Without the thought, even worse. So it's kind of like lose, lose if I have the thought or I don't have the thought.
Yeah.
Perspective. It's
Yeah.
like, I can't see any other way.
Yeah. And it might be worse without the thought is the
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Got to keep it. Might
Yeah.
as well keep it. Even if
Yeah.
even if it causes suffering. Okay. So just seeing all that, just seeing it, it feels like there's just no good option. Only for this moment. Let's just imagine, because the mind is so good at imagining what it would be like to drop the thought. This isn't fair. I work so hard. She doesn't work as hard as me. This isn't fair. You couldn't have that thought and you're still in this situation. You're still, seeing this person like the moves on a game board. There she is. Here I am. We've created
Mhm.
this thing. I couldn't have this perspective, but I'm still aware. I'm not in denial. It's okay to be noticing this hard work that's running that I don't know is what I really want. If I could have the thought, it's not fair.
Yeah, I can get there like really briefly. I can see how freeing it would be and how then I'm just working on this project with my friend who I love. Oh, but it's like so brief. I just come flooded back to where I am.
Mm. I'm going to continue to, I should, I need to, she should, she needs to, da, da, da. Yeah. I've just notice all that hard work, the hard work. And just coming back to yourself. And there's a friend and there's a project and there's interest in this, creating something.
Yeah, I mean, without it, then maybe I don't have to work so hard, which is a scary
Yes.
place to be.
Yes. Without comparison, it's noticing, and okay that you've had incoming news of people going on vacations and enjoying their life.
Yeah.
Without the thought, this isn't fair. Just let yourself stay there just a little bit longer. Without the thought, nothing required, no have to, no should, no like imperative must happen. Like without the thought, sometimes people imagine, I've had this, if I relax and I'll never work again.
Yeah.
I'll collapse, I just want to lay on the couch or something.
Yeah.
Can you absolutely know that's true? That if you drop the thought, I need to work hard.
No, I think I would continue to work. It would probably feel a lot more joyous and interesting.
Just notice that for a second.
Yeah, I know. My brain is like, but you might slow down and then it wouldn't be a fast enough pace to stay in your field. And
Exactly, right? Like, oh, like, oh my God. Yeah.
if you do what you want, you won't make it.
Yes. Which is how we're treating ourselves. There's something about this one here, who I am, is if it really does whatever it wants, it won't succeed. It won't win. It won't do it right. It'll fail,
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
collapse,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. And then here she is getting away with that. Very
yes,
good.
other people are out there actually enjoying themselves, and but
Yeah.
that doesn't work. It doesn't work,
Yeah.
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 They hear the news that it doesn't work that way. You
Yes, exactly. Right.
can't enjoy yourself and, have a career, go to work, do what I'm doing. So just feeling open to, I don't know. It might not be lose-lose if I don't have the thought. This isn't fair. I work so hard. She or those other people don't work as hard as me. Just open to, I don't know. And I love the turnarounds. I'm not being fair to myself.
Yeah.
This thinking, this whole way of seeing work and career or projects, even projects I love that I've created, isn't really fair. It's not fair. My thinking is actually working harder than it needs to.
Mm-hmm.
It's very one-tracked,
Mm-hmm.
the success is.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I could rest, like the turnarounds, I mean, just seeing the evidence, yes, you can find it. I can see, you say, yeah, I can see how I'm doing that. Even if it was like a different person and not this friend or somebody else or those previous situations, like all the way back to high school, Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not really being fair to myself. I mean, I'm thinking it requires like suffering or some kind of intensity with the work.
Yeah. 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 What if it doesn't require suffering?
Yeah. Mm. What if it's okay to notice, I love the work and there's breaks and, you know, sleeping and vacations or, and vacations don't even have to mean you go somewhere.
Right.
Mm. So I love, it can, anyway, it's just something to
Yeah.
open to, could I be more fair to myself, more fair in this situation if I lived the turnaround, just simply being fair to myself, because I'm the one taking care of this one here in this life, in this moment. Yeah.
Sorry for the kid tantrums that are happening downstairs. I promise there's an adult down there.
Yes. They might have thought something wasn't fair.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, good to see. That's what I can do something about is my own treating myself unfairly. Being a driver, such a driver. Believing that if I take a break, I won't make it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in that place, she's more like my teacher
So good to see. Yeah.
than my rival.
Yeah. Which is a great one is I'm not being fair to her.
Yeah.
This could be showing me something. This could be for me somehow. And it never means, oh, I mean, I love, I love Katie's little quote. Just because I love them doesn't mean I have to live with them. It's that it never means what the mind will start racing off on.
Yeah.
Oh, you know,
Yeah.
just simply because sometimes there's still something to bring up or have a conversation about or talk
Yeah.
about. But I'm not being fair to her. Sometimes
Yeah.
it could even be in the withholding information. I'm thinking that if she knew how I felt, I don't know, something terrible, worse would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean they have to know the whole, every single detail because you do this work, to be clear. It's great. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm not being fair. I'm not being fair to her. You see the evidence. It has to fit, like, yeah, yeah,
Oh, it totally does.
yeah,
It's very obvious to me that I'm not being fair to her.
yeah, yeah. It could be,
Like both in not showing up as my authentic self with this, but also like that story drives me to like maybe even not share opportunities that come up that I hear about because I'm like, oh, well, I deserve it. I'm the harder worker.
yeah, 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 yeah. I love just seeing it's kind of like that limited, like, oh, I got to protect and be careful and nothing wrong. That's what minds do. I mean, when they get nervous, careful, 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 careful about everything.
Yeah.
Okay, no, not to be upset with yourself for having a mind,
Yeah.
running. It's just I might have missed things. My that this person could even be of support to me or assistance somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get to this place and then I wonder, I know the next step is just to keep coming back to this awareness and keep seeing how often and in what ways it comes up for me. But I also wonder about the actual action of like testing out or stepping into a place where I'm allowed to rest or like.
It's a wonderful thing to find out.
Is it some big courageous move though? Or like, because at some point I have to just, I can notice all I want, but at some point for it to serve me, I want to actually test it out. And that still seems very scary.
Yes, yes. We're just noticing it's okay that it feels frightening. I'm afraid that if I relax, I'll lose or something bad will happen. It fits with the framework that I've been living, is like that. And
But it still requires me to do something to change it, right? Like,
yeah. Yeah. And it's possible. Like you can think right now, if I lived the turnaround of just simply being fair, use my own, what I thought wasn't happening, fairness. Fairness is interesting. It's sort of like just even, even balance. I think of a teeter-totter, just being kind of right in the middle, right? Just balancing beautifully. And if I did that with my work, with my efforting, with my, the difference between when you feel like super excited and you're just in it, you're on the paper and you're writing or whatever,
yeah.
what time it is, the
Yeah.
difference between that and I feel done right now, but I'm going to press on.
Yes.
So maybe a little adjustment, just trying on. Doesn't have to be big, it can be something that feels just right. If I lived it, fairness within myself. You know what I love is I love noticing all human beings sleep. Like, in this mindset, it's sort of like we're thinking sleep as little as possible and just do.
It.
But
Yeah.
constantly, like how can we shave off an hour of sleep or whatever, like it's just constantly and it's required to rest. Like life can't, even if the mind is so busy, you actually, the way of reality is sleeping happens. Well, what's sleeping? It's so interesting. You lay down and your whole body relaxes for a while. And I know some people have the experience of if their mind is turned on, they wake up and it's still night, and that's okay too. But for a while, you are just not even here. You don't even know where you are. You're just shut down. And that's balance. That's actually the way of it. People want to have a good sleep.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, just noticing that, what's the reality? Doing absolutely nothing, part of life on a daily basis. Not even knowing what's going on. So we know that that's good, So it's just like sort of backing into it, just doing a little bit of experiment. What if I actually didn't do that today? What if I stopped now?
Woo.
Okay.
That'll bring it up.
Yes. Yeah. And just sometimes it is a little, the mind is yelling, this can't be good, watch out.
Yeah.
And I want to see, I want to find out for myself. Just remember, like, thank you for sharing. I understand. This way of thinking's been there for a long time, so it might yell. And I really want to know the truth. Possible to have fairness and balance going on here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love the turnaround. Just the simple opposite is, this is fair, the situation.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah. Isn't that, I mean, good to know. And it doesn't mean that means it's going to stay the same or whatever, but based on, how I'm seeing it, of course.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I love what some of the sharing is here in the chat. Someone shares, I heard you say, if I do what I want, I won't make it. Good one, for just watching. Yeah, that's what this is about.
That's totally what this is about. Yeah.
Yeah. I love noticing that's what we have. That's what the realm is that we can work in, this one here. There they are doing whatever they do in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can look at this and question,
Mm-hmm.
notice.
Mm-hmm.
It can shift in here. Isn't
Mm-hmm.
that what I want? I'd like to be, I'm so curious about that actually. And I love how someone else is sharing generosity, generous thoughts towards her, and then generous thoughts towards the self. Yeah, kind of the opposite of that, carefulness. And it's
Yeah.
okay to see the mind still thinking. It's not asking you, I think that question 4, to drop the thought. If you don't, if it seems like it's yelling at you, it's been around for a long time, but just wondering, like, okay, let's just give some equal time over here to what it might be like without it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, oh, remember your fairness thing. Right. Yeah. I noticed that wasn't absolutely true, that everything, it has to be fair, or whatever, like hard work thing, this driving thing. It could be, I can open the fists.
Yeah.
It could be rest is possible.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Yeah, it's a wonderful one. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Any comments? Anyone want to share? You can share out loud after. And I love somebody sharing. Tira, thank you so much for being willing to share this with us. I needed to do this exact work today, and I didn't even know it.
Yay.
Yes.
And Julie, yes, it's so much work.
Yes, Julie, it takes a lot of energy to keep track of the other worker. Yes. Don't you love it? Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love what comes up in the workplace. It's amazing. Sometimes that's where we get a lot of our growth. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Tara. Sarah. Hello. Let's get you unmuted, my dear.
I was going to comment on Tira. Oh, thank you, Tira, for your work. Yeah, and it was interesting because my first reaction was, I don't have any of these issues. And then when you said housework, it's just like a bomb,
Yes.
went off.
A bomb went off. Yes.
And it was just so funny to, it was so interesting to follow this whole thing about, balance and, how everything has to be this, the same. And, I'm working so hard. Why is he not doing anything, and just, I'm so grateful just to have the opening. I mean, I'll do a worksheet, but just to have the opening to see it. Thank you, Tara. It just, it's just like, I just wanted to hang on to that. For some reason, it was just like, I'm just doing more work than he is. And he isn't, he thinks he works harder than I do. It's like, just so, it's so interesting to have that just break open. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Sometimes it's we've had funny experiences or moments of finding out what that other person is actually doing. Like, I don't know, it's really weird how you can be blind or almost just like there's gaps in the thinking or knowing, because we can't really know and like just how much they might be thinking about it or concerned. Or I think about my husband cleaning up his office, and it looks like is everywhere to me. And he's in there going through papers and getting rid of something. So it doesn't look like much has happened, and I'll be like, you didn't do anything. Or, I mean, just, it's funny, the mind just saying what it says about it, and it doesn't know. It does not know what's going on.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But it doesn't mean we don't, make requests or
Mhm.
ask for help or do whatever, but just the war
Right.
reality.
Right. Yeah. And also the whole idea of maybe I could actually have a conversation with him about it without it being a war. I
Yeah.
mean, oh my God, could that be possible? To
Yeah.
just like, I'm curious about, I'm thinking this way and boy, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
Um, and I could be wrong here, or I may not be thinking in the right way.
Yeah. I might,
Like,
yeah.
I never, thought, how could I never even thought about having a conversation about that.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God, if I have a conversation, if I brought that up to him, there would just be a war.
Right.
Everything would be ruined. Everything. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which is a powerful thing to see,
Yeah.
terrifying if we really address this.
Right.
It'll be worse. I
Right.
think Kuro was finding that, like there's just
Yeah.
no way out of this. It's just going to be
Yeah.
bad news. And so just keep it to yourself and head down and like suffer.
Right. And also the being authentic, like Tara was saying, well, doesn't there have to be an action step here? I'm like, I'm with her, like, uh, yeah, probably. And
Yeah.
and then like the fear comes up, like I'm gonna ruin everything. But
Yeah.
where could I start? Like I think you said, maybe start with something small. Start with something just noticing, feeling like, oh, this is a little off balance. Instead of waiting to make it into this huge wall and barrier.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the way I'm seeing it is it's off balance. And I'm
Right.
wondering if you have any thoughts or ideas about that. And they
Right.
may have some genius. And it reminds me of Katie's wonderful and loving what is story about seeing her children's socks on the floor.
Yeah.
There they are on the floor again. And noticing I'm the one who likes them off the floor. The kids don't even really notice. And it doesn't mean never pick them up or be disgusted or angry with them or make, I don't know, a lot of rules about socks getting picked up. I love that in that story she shares, and I notice this about my kids too, is just amazing, that they always pick up their socks. Now they're adults, and they don't have socks all over the floor like that. That is past.
Yeah.
It wasn't a dire, terrible situation. It kind of worked itself through. And my kids, they clean, and make themselves dinner and like to cook. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, and
Yeah.
so,
Thank you.
yeah, it's like really finding the balance. It's if I like it vacuumed every couple days, if I notice things, that's okay. Without demanding the other person see it. Well, you should see that it needs vacuuming, whatever the thing is. They just might not see the way they see. Like imagine, having that, we do it to ourselves. I should be seeing it a certain way. I should be, like it's a
Yeah.
demand.
Right. Right. Yeah, like I realized that I really like to have the kitchen picked up. It doesn't have to be perfectly clean or anything. It's just there's a certain amount that bothers me if if it's cluttered, somehow. And before I go to bed at night, that's like I think I just want the kitchen clean, put away, so that when I get up in the morning, because I'm the one that gets up early.
Mhm.
But then, I realized, that he doesn't have that feeling. He just leaves his dishes around and whatever, and I just clean them up. But it's because it's because I want that.
Yes.
Because I want, and then I noticed that he does clear and bring them into the kitchen once in a while. It's like.
Yeah.
He never washes them or puts them away or anything like that, but it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me the way it used to,
Nice.
that particular part, because somehow I think I just told him I just really like to have the kitchen cleaned up before I go to bed. So when I get up in the morning, I don't have to face it. And he said, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
It's like it's what I want.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
But I could have other conversations.
Yes.
I look forward to.
Yes.
Ah,
Willing to. I am willing to.
willing
Forward
to.
to. Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh my gosh. So welcome. Yeah. Isn't it? It's powerful to notice the strong word, I'll say, because I know arrogance of believing they should see it just exactly the way I see it. They should see those socks on the floor. They should see it like that.
Yep.
And it just doesn't work that way, does it? Because they're standing over there, so they see it from a different place. And we don't like it if somebody says that to us. And I love Elizabeth sharing, what's the story we're telling ourselves about what would happen if we told our truth?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes I notice it's like there's that truth is held in a box, and then when it comes out, it's like an explosion. And so good to have it along the way. And okay, no, I don't have to know that it's going to have this outcome or that outcome. Just be in the don't know space. It's more exciting, really, more open, more relaxed. How is this for me? How is this offering something for me, not coming at me, putting me in victim mode? So good. Thank you. All right. Time for one other person to do the work or bring up anything that might have appeared here or just noticing.
May I do that?
Of course. Yes, please. All right. Yeah.
So this, so my should is, and I could see some similarity to the other issue that was brought up,
Mhm.
but I get stuck with mine. And my should is that this pain shouldn't be here.
Ah,
And is it true? Yes, I think yes, it's true. And then can I know it's not true? No, because I don't know life or God's will for me.
mhm. And is it physical pain?
Yes, it's physical pain.
Okay, really powerful. We'll slow it down a little. So I love that. I can't absolutely know it's true that it shouldn't be here. I have a preference. It's okay to be noticing. Can't know it shouldn't be here because it is. Okay. And still to stay with the one that's so upset. There's that pain. The physical,
Yeah, yeah,
pain is there. Okay. Okay. So just being with it. I'm so against it. It shouldn't be here. What
right.
happens
Yeah.
when
So
you think it, yeah, your perspective. It shouldn't be here. There it is. Here it is again. Here it is still.
Yeah, so my brain, I start feeling angry and contracted and
Mm.
small and handicapped and jealous of the health and mobility of others and saying, why me? Why is this happening to me?
Yeah. No.
This isn't fair.
Yeah. Don't you have, well, I love how
So
you,
I feel like a victim, powerless, frustrated. Um, and I'm comparing, like Tara was, constantly comparing, fearing in the future that that's what it's going to be, that, and I'm hopeless and old, and there's no way out. Maybe there's a way out, but I go into this panic of not knowing if there's a way out. I don't know if there's a way out, and I don't know how to not believe that I'm the pain. I don't know how to not identify with it, because I might have a moment or so of not identifying with it, but then I start walking and it's right back.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes. So I think that's powerful to see that something in the thinking with the thought, this pain shouldn't be there, is I even direct some attention to, and I should be able to stop thinking about that the pain shouldn't be there.
Yes, I should be able to, but
Yes. Yeah.
I can't seem to accept reality as it is.
Yeah.
I should be able to. I know enough about accepting reality as it is, I think,
Huh.
but then I can't, and I don't want it, and I'm ticked off about it.
Yeah. 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 So staying with that sensation of pain, you see where it is in the field of everything that you can see. It's like,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
it's like got a sort of has a general location. It might not have clear edges, but it's radiating, staying there, staying looking. It might have a color, a texture, maybe even a shape. And this can even be done with emotional pain, just watching as you forget about it and then you think about it. Think about it strong. Somebody, you felt hurt. You felt hurt by this. I'm hurt by this. I don't like it. And there's that experience, that sensation. Okay. And even the thoughts, and I should be able to accept this. I should be over this. I should, and lots of looking sometimes on how to get rid of the pain.
yeah. It's like it's my main focus in life now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Going to see practitioners or Googling or whatever,
All that, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's not going away. And I'm all this effort. Okay. So I find this helpful to see, like just staying close, like being right there in the pain. Because we know when it's maybe completely gone, you're asleep for a while or something, you forget about it for a split second, or you're not walking, or whatever. But
Right.
right.
I have moments where yeah, it's toned way down. It's not at an 8 or a 9. It's toned down, and
Yeah.
um,
So, okay. So just being there with it at the height, like when it's, just feels so painful, physically painful, emotionally painful, feel sad, even heartbroken about it. And the pictures, but just noticing, who would you be without the whole story So we're not in denial that this presence, the sensation is present, is here. That there's a body that has some agony in it. I sometimes like thinking of it as just noticing who's looking, who can watch this pain. You know, in the field of everything that's happening, there's this tremendous discomfort without the story of where it's going. I'm going to have this for the rest of my life. Aging is a horrible whatever, if that's what you're thinking. I shouldn't have done XYZ in the past. Just without that, I could drop the thought, this isn't fair, I hate it, I'll never get past it. Without the story of the pain, I wish it would go away. It's okay to have a preference, just letting it be there for the moment. Letting it be there. No have to about accepting it. Just noticing, here it is. Oh, there that is. Oh. Without the thought and everything it means. Sometimes here I like, you know, kind of relaxing with that there, as if a hurricane or a tornado is coming, because I know extreme chronic pain can feel just big. Emotional pain too, feels like chronic pain, traumatic experience. And just in the moment, even though, who would I be without my whole story of what it means?
I'm so addicted to that story already. I'm addicted to it.
Okay, good to notice. So if you dropped it, just see what might come about. Is there something dangerous about dropping it? Just see. If I didn't have the story, does the mind have something to worry about there? I can't actually not have this story because I have to be against this pain.
Yes, I have to be against this pain. If I don't keep fighting it, it's never going to go away.
Yeah. I'll just become kind of like, I'll just lay on the floor and let it hurt all the time or do whatever, live my life, and it'll just constantly be hurting, and it'll never go away.
Or not live my life. I mean, really,
Yes.
what's the point?
Oh, yeah. So
I don't feel suicidal. I don't want to say that, but I am aware now that there is that, not a suicide thought, but a thought of hopeless, of
yeah.
what's left for me, what's of value here.
I mean, so powerful to see. Yeah. I follow along with you. I had this injury, and it's been 8 years. All the rest of my life, look what you did. You shouldn't have done that. That was your fault. You got to get rid of this. This is horrible. And just still kind of letting it sit there. Like, I love that. I love noticing that thought. If I drop it, if I'm not against it, fighting it, it'll never go away. So me fighting it is required here.
Oh, yes.
So see if that's true. I need to fight this experience I had. And if anyone is doing this and you're not thinking about physical pain, even emotional pain, difficulty you've been through that felt intolerable, if I don't fight this, it'll never go away. Is it true?
I can't know that that's true. I don't know that it's true.
I find the same. I can't know it's true either. If I actually didn't fight it, it wouldn't go away. I don't know if fighting is required, you know? See, when you see what happens when you believe, I need to be against this. Same thing as before, really. It isn't fair. Like the energy, the push, the intensity, the gripping, closed fist,
Yes, all of that.
research, you know, consults. Not that there's anything wrong with those. Like sometimes it's amazing what can be of assistance, just, and it's not fast enough and I need to get rid of it, just all of it. Okay. So who would you be without the thought, I have to be against it for it to go away? I have to fight it for it to go away. Who would you be without that story?
Well, a thought comes to mind about, again, Tyra's partner. She didn't have that same story.
Mhm.
I don't know. As I'm looking out, I'm sitting in my chair and looking out at a possible me not having to fight. Well, I think I realized that I'm exhausted from fighting.
Mhm.
And just playing with the possibility, I feel more relaxed sitting in my chair. The level has decreased. Is it possible that fighting it has increased the level of pain?
Sometimes could be, don't know, but it's
Yeah.
nice to have another option, right? Because since the fighting is exhausting. I was doing the work the other day with a young woman who's just who's convinced even she must fight her thinking. Isn't that interesting?
Yes, yes,
Fight my thinking. I've got to fight my thinking. I've got to have good thinking, beneficial thinking, easygoing thinking. Oh my goodness. So hard. I mean, how impossible. Like
right, right.
never succeed. And that's another thought. I have to fight my thinking. It's a thought,
Mhm,
so, which is good to notice. But yeah,
right.
like what if, and you even touch that pain for a moment with, if I wasn't fundamentally, absolutely against the sensation, and I know it's weird because it's not a comfortable sensation, this thing we call pain. But if I wasn't absolutely and totally against it, shouldn't happen, it shouldn't happen, it shouldn't happen. If I didn't have that on repeat,
Well, I I think I'd be able to take in more of what's happening instead of a narrow focal point on the pain. I feel like as I sit here, that my vision can become wider, that my peripheral vision takes in more than just that thing that demands my attention, that I can notice things that are pleasant. Right now, I can see out the window. And at the same time I'm seeing out the window, there's this part that says, when I just bent over a little bit, oh no, there it is. So it grabs me right back.
Yeah. And that's okay. It's kind of like, oh, kind of something happened and you can feel it. You can feel it. Feel the awareness, the body just giving a message.
Body just giving a message, right?
Giving a message. And so it doesn't mean you don't like go back, go back into the position that feels better. Very normal. And I love that what you said. It's like, is that all that's here? It can kind of expand out, noticing what's out the window, taking in things with our eyes and our ears. There's feeling, sensation, and images.
Yes.
Noticing
Yeah.
we can have this conversation, noticing, we can be talking, even though.
Even though, yes, even though.
Yeah. Which isn't that nice to see? Like, oh, connection, honesty, and sort of, I think of it as it's intimate. It's like, this is a thing that really comes up for me, that really concerns me, and I'm sharing it. And the thing itself does not stop me from sharing. The pain doesn't affect contact with the world.
Oh, and I've given into a belief that it affects. I've limited contact.
Those other people have, all that other great contact or more or something, and this isn't it. This isn't it. I don't have it.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Yeah, can't do it. I can't do it. It's like the sea, and without that thought, without the story, if I didn't know.
Oh. Well, life might not ever be the way it was when I felt strong in my body and mobile and dependent.
Yeah.
But I can see that it could still be different, but I'm liking seeing more in my room. I'm liking seeing out the window. I'm liking having this conversation. I'm liking having this contact.
Love, it's sort of falling just a little bit into turnaround awareness. Turn around, and those images of how I once was that is no longer. It's okay that they're there, and noticing they're just in the mind, memories, We all have that. You know, we can remember how we used to run and jump and some, you know, in the body. And that seems to be the way of it, to move in a different direction. And that's okay. Just noticing I can still connect. It might even be turnaround, just finding examples. We're not even wiping out the original thought. We don't have to do that. Just
Uh-huh.
turning towards, there could be something interesting here about this condition, about this situation. Doesn't mean I have to enjoy pain or something like that's, no, of course not. It's like that something becomes slower. Like you just said, I get to notice more of what's in my environment with my eyes.
Ah, yes. I have been noticing that it makes me, that I've become more compassionate and less judgmental towards people who get hooked on drugs, who that's a big one, who
Wow.
get hooked on drugs, because I can see that it would be not hard to get to a point where you'd say, give me anything, just make this pain go away.
Yeah.
So I feel better about that. I have a sister that I've been hard on.
Oh,
And people out there in the world that I've been judgmental towards, considering them weak. And so I'm grateful for this experience for that reason.
connects you with that whole part of the human race, or sister, if nothing,
Yes.
sister, you know, that have a pain. Doesn't have to be physical. My mind can crunch down around something emotional that it's just determined to not allow. I like that it's just connects you with that. So sweet. I mean, to feel the compassion that just comes up from within you, from underneath, you know, just holds you like, huh, right. What does it bring me? What could be okay about this? I like how Wanda's sharing, got to fight my fat, my weight gain. This has been something so meaningful to me, like body, things in the body that we supposedly have all this control over. And if I relax, I'll get even bigger. I can be mad and overweight or relaxed and overweight. Yes. And who knows? It's like, how is it more likely to shift if I'm at war? Like, oh, you feel like what it means to be at war, or willing. It doesn't mean I'm not paying any attention at all. Like I find that there's a pendulum that can kind of swing and collapse into total despair, sort of like you were mentioning, Sandy. You know, it's like with this pain, okay, if I can't fight it all, I'll just go flying over to the other side, which is I have nothing to do with you. I'm collapsing. I don't even, you know, fine, you win. You know, and it's stressful, heartbreaking.
Yes.
And this is like the coming back to the middle. Speaking of that teeter-totter, you know, being in the, I'm here with you, I'm with you, I'm here with you situation, sensation that I don't like, that the mind doesn't like.
Yes.
And how am I more likely to watch that shift, but without an agenda, if I'm at war and totally aggressive and aggressing against myself and all of it, or resting and just open, aware. It's a great question.
It's a beautiful question, and I'm really, really grateful to you, Grace, and for the support of this community.
Thank you. So great.
I feel like an opening that feel like an opening for me.
Hmm.
I want to be willing. Ah, that's interesting.
Yes.
I want to be willing. Is that true? Ah, okay.
You could almost say I'm willing to consider being willing.
Yes, right. Yes.
Which I love. It's not about pretending anything. You know, it's kind of like, I mean, most physical bodies and humans don't, animals even don't want to have like physical pain in the body. I mean, it's not
That's right.
wanted. It's not wanted like, yay, I hope that happened. Like, yay, this is good. And it's okay to still be noticing. I don't know. I don't know everything it means. When I start to begin to think I did something wrong, I was deserving, or those other people have it a lot better than me, or whatever, all the things that the mind yells, you know, you need to get rid of this. This is terrible. It's all downhill from here. Life is terrible. Life sucks. You know, when all that kind of comes in as such a orchestra, like the soundtrack is just horrible. It becomes very, very difficult to find any rest, any willingness in all that. It's kind of like I'm willing to have this be, I'm willing to think about being willing.
Uh-huh.
But it is good to notice when I've been against it, no matter how I come at it and for how long I've been against it, it doesn't go away.
No, and I suspect it's been making it worse.
Yeah.
But I've fallen down this rabbit hole of more and more limitations and more time spent on it, and less being grateful for other things in my life, even recognizing other things in my life. That it's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Put it like having it be turning down the sound on that.
yeah, that's that. Thank you. I'll
Yeah.
turn down the sound. Yeah.
Even noticing right now, you know, as we're speaking, it's like you notice it coming on, you paid attention to it for a minute if it was there, and then you didn't notice it at all for a second. Then you noticed it again, maybe, and
Yes.
you know, and the mind will say it's always there. But for little split seconds, it isn't. Maybe longer than those little split seconds. Just good to notice. Mm, very sweet. Yeah. I mean, just to find that turnaround and consider living it. Could it be? Nobody has to like enforce or make war upon your own mind and perceptions, but could it be there's any tiny, even advantage or something interesting about this condition, or interesting that this happened, or something that it has offered in my life? And you have found some of them, Sandy, because I find being willing to look around a room that I'm in and just see out the window, you know, or take in the world, or notice how it can't affect my love or compassion.
Oh, uh-huh.
Doesn't touch that. even connecting you with a sister.
Mhm.
That's so sweet. Yeah, just feeling the connection of that.
I also have wondered whether or not this is to teach me a skill of being able to control my thoughts, or to a skill. I can't quite identify what it is, but uh, some skill that I thought would be easy if I were ever forced, if I were ever in this position, that it would be easy to see what part my brain is having and what was really going on, to a skill of being really more present. That's what it is.
Mm,
Is this to teach me the skill of being really more present with all that is?
wow. Very, I mean, powerful. Don't know,
Don't know.
Yeah. You get to see, but how fun to just even being open. I'm willing. I'm willing to be willing to think about being willing. I could have something, not about deserving, not about wrongness, not about terrible. Doesn't mean I don't see practitioners and explore but I'm not, if I'm not at war and I'm just simply open, just can I relax with my experience? Just noticing something's holding me, supporting me. Yeah. Elizabeth sharing, your awareness and ability to see outside of yourself is admirable. You are so strong.
Oh,
That's sweet.
thank you. Thank you. Wow, I didn't see that.
Mm. And even somebody else, how strong you are when you can acknowledge the needs of your body. Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, sharing here. Anyone want to share from this inquiry? Well, I'm just noticing again, my thinking about this may not be so fair. My thinking about this and be painful, pain on top of the pain. Yeah. Noticing what's here and what's okay, even though this is present. But could I be willing to have this be here since it is?
Since it is, yeah.
It is. Here it is. And good to see. Not every minute of every single hour, like, it's sometimes not, or even if it's kind of hovering in the background, I'm still able to take in so much more and to share. Love this sharing. It didn't prevent you from sharing this work, which is awesome.
No. It motivated me, and I'm so glad. I feel so grateful.
Yeah,
Oh,
really beautiful. Grateful too.
thank you. Thank you.
You're so
Oh,
welcome. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for being here and for your work. Who knows how, even if you're quiet and listening, just who knows how that works, like, and what happens. Just the awareness of looking at that in your own life and hearing and being with it. So, yeah. Thank you, Sandy.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Lots of love, everyone. Enjoy yourself. Tammy sharing, your voice and presence sounds so much freer. Yes.
And I feel so much freer.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the companion of what has happened and what is present that we feel so against, and just seeing there it is. Maybe I missed something. That's all. It's okay. Lovely work, everybody. Thank you for being here. See you next time. Lots of love.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can take yourself off mute and say goodbye. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
Bye.
thank you.
Hey, bye.